Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. Hope everyone's doing well, hope everyone's having fun, and I hope the universe is treating you fairly. Today's video we are going to talk about Fallout Season 2. I'm going to start this video out with all the things that I personally didn't care for. If you watched it and you liked these things, cool. Your liking of those things is legitimate. You have your reasons for liking them, and that's cool. That's real cool because diversity is what grows community. This season was interesting. Simply because in some ways it went way beyond my expectations, in other ways it failed. So overall, I would say it was a great show. Very, very worth going and watching. You can tell in this show that Season 2 and Season 3 were approved together because when they did Season 1, Season 2 was not a guarantee. Season 2 was still out in the void. So they put everything they could into Season 1. It was firing on all cylinders. Season 1 was firing on all cylinders. Now we get into Season 2. You have Season 3 you have to set up for. You have to set up. Season 1 set up, didn't really set up Season 2. It laid the foundation in case they got a Season 2. But you could have ended it right there and been somewhat satisfying. Not totally satisfying, but it is what it is. One of the things that kind of irked me in Season 2, and once again I need to reiterate, these are my personal feelings. And if your feelings are different, hey, cool. That is completely legitimate, completely fair, and we all don't have to agree. So, the fact that they rewound or wiped out probably 60% of Lucy's character growth from Season 1. That kind of irked me. Lucy McLean is one of those characters that I really liked for the same reason I like Stephen King's Holly Gibney, because she started out with a blank slate and over time becomes, this, hero. We don't have an end product that we're filling in a backstory. We have the very beginning all the way to a final product. And Lucy McLean, like Holly Gibney, is perfect for that because we don't know. We can theorize, we can make hypotheses, we can come up with all kinds of things for Season 3. But at the end of the day, it's a crapshoot. But when the first episode, I'm gonna be honest, the first episode almost turned me off of the Fallout show. And it wasn't the whole episode. It was there's scenes in Novak, and this is where they completely. Well, first of all, they disrespected the spaghetti westerns, in my opinion. Some people, I can see the legitimate arguing that they're paying homage to the good, the bad, and the ugly. But they didn't. In my opinion, they didn't. They kind of blew that one. They just kind of screwed the pooch on that one, in my opinion. Like I said, they rolled back, like it's a 65% of Lucy's character growth from season 1. They even rolled back probably 25 or 30% of the Ghoul's character growth. However, what kept me coming back for the first 3 episodes was the Norm MacLean storyline and the Brotherhood of Steel storyline. Those were solid storylines, intriguing storylines. And I love the fact that they're not going to pay off the Norm storyline until season 3. I like the fact that the Brotherhood of Steel is going to be interesting. That the Brotherhood of Steel Civil War is going to be interesting in season 3. The other thing that just kind of drove me crazy, because about 70% of this season is flashbacks. Don't get me wrong, I like a good, well done flashback. They are great for dumping exposition. Things that you can't necessarily show without a flashback. And in television and movies, it's show don't tell. The big problem I have is everybody and their fucking brothers doing flashbacks. The most egregious show that I like and I still enjoy is the All of Us with Pedro Pascal. The latest season of that show was almost probably 90% flashbacks, and it was just irritating because you lose your touch with that much flashback. You lose touch with the main storyline, and that almost happened in this season of Fallout. And it, like I said, it was just though I have to admit, and I freely admit, that some of the flashbacks, especially the Cooper Howard with his wife in Vegas, those were some beautiful exposition dumping. I also enjoyed there's a scene when they first get to Freeside that Cooper goes off to get drunk. He needs this. He just needs to get shit-faced drunk and ride with it. He just needs to, chill. And there's scenes of him physically taking a drink, both in a flashback and at the same time in the main continuity of the story, the modern day part of the story. And and you get these quick cuts, just boom, 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 boom. That was well done. I have to admit that was well done. But, and there's always a but, they overdid it. If they would have kept the flashbacks to the minimum, it would have been great. Now the flashback we get for Stephanie's story, I'm sorry, I think that could have been done in exposition. I think Betty could have used that to hold over Steph's head. It was cool. I like the suicide bomber running into the Marine in the power armor. But was it necessary? No. Did it advance the story? Yeah, I guess, yes. I mean, technically it did, because it gives us insight into Steph's motivations. However, at the same time, we didn't need that. There's a whole lot of the flashbacks we really just don't need. They could have cut out pretty much most of the interactions with the Robert House clone, or as I've seen on Reddit, people referring, not the clone, the lookalike, not clone, not a clone, the lookalike, his body double, which I've read on different places, Reddit, a couple other places, where they've referred to him as Bob Apartment. You have Robert House, Bob Apartment, the knockoff, the store brand Robert House, you know. I thought that was kind of cool. Some of those they could have cut out. The one flashback that I really enjoyed, it may not have been necessary. It would have been necessary at some point early in season 3, but I think where they put it in season 2, at the end of season 2, where Cooper Howard, a flashback, Cooper Howard has given the president the MacGuffin of cold fusion. He's leaving, they're getting ready to leave Vegas, and all the payphones start ringing. And Coop answers in its house telling him, hey, shit's getting ready to get real here, so be ready. And the un-American activities, some shout out to old McCarthy, Joseph McCarthy, that cocksucker. He gets arrested and taken off. And before he goes, he tells his wife Barb, he's like, look, you do whatever you have to do to survive. Which reminds me of the lyric from the 80s song Silent Running, which there's a lyric in there that says, swear allegiance to whatever flag they give you, pray, basically pray to whatever God they tell you to pray to. But survive, and in the back rooms, educate your kids about how life could be better. And it has that same feeling, that motif. It's great. I like that. That was one of the few flashbacks that I really, really enjoyed. Like I said, for the first 3 episodes, the Ghoul and Lucy story was weak as fuck. it picked up near the end of episode 3. It got started to get stronger, but what they had to do is they had to rebuild where they fucked over the Ghoul character and the Lucy character by rewinding their character growth. They had to build that back up. But, that's the reason. That's my theory or my hypothesis why for me, the Lucy and Ghoul story sucks so much in the first 3 episodes. The cameo of Ron Perlman as a super mutant was just, didn't expect that. Loved it when it happened. Just beautiful cameo. Yeah, like I said, it's the Rad Roaches, the Buds. I like that. I like that part of the Norm story. Him killing Bud Askins off. Bringing the other flunkies out of the cryo. Then going to the surface, you have that, you have the betrayal in that, because all the people that are coming out of cryo were pre-war people, and they had that pre-war mentality. They had that pre-war thing going on. So yeah, there's that. Norm finding a girlfriend, or a female acquaintance. Well, which I would not be surprised and would be kind of irked if they didn't turn her into a love interest for Norm. Walter Goggins is both in the abusive, pound you over the head flashbacks and as the Ghoul was superb. Everybody. Ella Purnell is Lucy. Aaron Martin is Maximus, and I cannot remember the name of the actor who played Norm. I'm sorry. Should have looked that up. But it works. All the characters came through, did a superb job. All the actors and actresses embodied their characters well. Kyle Paulatreides McLaughlin, beautiful job. He's one of those actors that he was cool. When I first saw the Dune movie, the Lynch Dune movie, which is where the first time I encountered Kyle MacLachlan as an actor, he was okay. It was good. That movie, as I got older and matured as a human being, became a better movie. And Kyle MacLachlan's acting at that was superb. Was spot on for Lynch's version. He was even better in the TV show he did, Twin Peaks. And now, in this show, it's just, Kyle MacLachlan just steals every scene he's in. And he makes it look so effortless to do. He makes acting that type of character. He just makes it look so effortlessly easy. That just tells you that man's skill, that he's grown and nurtured and matured over time. Ella Purnell. I did not know who an Ella Purnell was until this show came out. and I enjoyed it. I enjoy her as an actress. I will probably at some point go through and start finding other things that she's in. The actor that plays Maximus did not know he was old enough to have children. I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about his kids and his wife, and I'm thinking to myself, going, is he old enough? I thought he was like early 20s. It turns out he's much older. He's got that Dick Clark gene. He's going to probably look just like he is now 60 years from now. He's just, I thought he was a whole lot younger than he really is. That's just awesome. And in interviews, I'm sure they use a little bit of makeup, but I don't think they use a whole hell of a lot of makeup. Probably just enough to to dull out shiny spots and stuff. I don't think they have quite the amount of makeup for an interview as they do on screen filming TV show, what have you, streaming show. I don't know. See, that's another thing. I don't know what the correct term is. It's a TV show because you watch it on your TV, but it's not a TV show because it's not like NBC, ABC, CBS. I do think of it more of a TV show because the bare basic Amazon Prime, which I have, has commercials. So you have your commercial interruptions, which does not bother me a bit. My wife, because she grew up she grew up in the streaming age. Really? I don't know. I wouldn't say growing up would probably be mischaracterization. She came into adulthood as the streaming age took off. And her commercial TV weekly releases and stuff, for like me who grew up with, that's how you watch TV. You watched commercials, you watched, you got a preview for next week if it was like a good show like Star Trek or something like that. And you went on about your business. So yeah, the commercials and stuff don't bother me a bit. Like I said, it just tears my wife up. But no, it's good. Wow. Really looking forward to season 3, and because season 3 is, like I said, season 2 and season 3 got approved together. I imagine season 3 will return to the quality of season 1. Season 2 is kind of like Frank Herbert's Dune Messiah. It sets up Dune Messiah is the stopgap between Dune and Children of Dune. And this is what season 2 Fallout out is. It's the stopgap between season 1 and season 3. Now, if we get seasons 4, 5, 6, we'll find out. I don't know. I think if they continue after season 3, you may have to almost reset. Have all your characters from seasons 1, 2, 3 live happily ever after. Then 50, 60, 100 years down the road, we pick up with their descendants or something. But thing is, they can come back and do that if they don't get a season 4 and we have a lapse in time. Then somebody decides they want to redo Fallout as a TV show. You can, the way the whole Fallout franchise is set up, you don't have to reboot. You can keep these 3 seasons canon and start off significantly in the future with your own storyline. That's what they've done with Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, 4, and that whatever that atrocious online game that they have for Fallout is. So yeah, it's good. I love the twists of season 3. I'm going to try not to spoil the final twist, even though if you play the game, if you play Fallout, you see it coming 100 miles away, but you're ready for it. You're anticipating. You want that to happen. So, yeah, that's kind of my synopsis of the 8 episodes of Fallout Season 2 on Amazon Prime. Just if you're a fan of dystopia fiction, dystopia science fiction, this is well worth it. It's more than worth watching. Like I said, I had those 2 things that I had to get off my shoulders at the beginning of this video, but it's still good. Like I said, a lot of it, the reason why this season is a couple steps below the first season, my hypothesis is it's the stopgap between season 1 and season 3. So, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go, let you get back to doing what you need to do. And remember, always be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?